Thank you very much. Similar to Jim earlier, it is a pleasure to be able to come here and talk about something that interests me greatly, and I hope that it can interest you. As I mentioned earlier, I make one or two apologies for cricket. I appreciate cricket is a sport that is only played by 10 countries professionally around the world, so it might not be everybody's cup of tea. But perhaps I'm still hopeful that there could be a couple of takeaways for everybody. One of which might be to do with some of the mechanics of the impacts that cause head injuries. And I should point out at the very outset, I'm by no means an expert in head injuries. But what our part in the process here has been to look at the impacts that cause head injuries and trying to protect against them. And secondly, I think the partnerships that we've been involved in to try and address the issue. Jim made an interesting point at the end of his talk this morning, which was about how we turn academic research into something of real practical value to the world. And as I'll come on to mention, there are times when one needs to make perhaps compromises in that space. So this talk in particular is going to focus on a couple of points. One is very specifically to reduce a particular injury incidence that was taking place in cricket. It's been reported was on the increase, and we had to do something about it, or the game had to do something about it. And very early on, we were brought in to be part of a team to help address that. And it very quickly became apparent that the game would be in better health, literally and metaphorically, if we could establish a community of people that could start to look after itself. And so bringing people together at an early stage and engaging with them and sharing information with them, hopefully, and we'll come to see whether we've achieved anything there, hopefully gives us a game and all the stakeholders within the game that can start to take a lead on future injury challenges that it might face in the future. So just a little brief overview of what I'm going to talk about today. I'm going to go through the problem, the approach that we took, and then give one or two indications of the outcomes of our work so far, and then perhaps touch on what might be next. And head injuries more broadly, which I'm not going to cover here, is very much a focus of our institute across a number of sports, from physical body-on-body contact sports through to sports like this. So very interested to hear of any work that other people are involved in that field. So cricket as a game is centuries old. Many people well, my wife, for a start, says cricket is far too boring for her to watch. So I have to sort of go out and watch it in secret.